sound of U.S. warplanes in the front lines against Islamic State outside of Mosul. The Kurdish Peshmerga call it the sound of God. Across open plains and eroded hills in northern Iraq, to the southern flank of the Kurdish front lines surrounding the Islamic State stronghold of Mosul, Iraq's second biggest city. The Peshmerga, which translates to one who faces death, are an ally of Operation Inherent Resolve, the U.S.-led international coalition combating Islamic State, the terrorist army also known as ISIS. About 300 Kurdish fighters from one unit are spread out here along an 81-mile section of the front. They fight from hilltop forts and scattered outposts. Despite a lack of heavy weapons and ammunition, the Peshmerga soldiers' morale is high. They say they're fighting for Iraqi Kurdistan's independence and to defend the outside world from ISIS. And for some soldiers, the fight is personal.
You know, it's a big feeling hard to fight Daesh because in this fighting, one of his nephew being killed by Daesh.
He doesn't feel fear?
No, he doesn't feel fear. He said sometimes during the fighting, when it starts at the beginning, we feel afraid, scared a little bit. But when we've been fighting, at the, let's say, when we enter the deep of the fighting, it is quite normal. You never feel scared or feel afraid.
Islamic State positions are only about a mile away across the Great Zab River. A white house is identified as the enemy's command post.
So that white building is the Daesh headquarters there.
There's a Padushka over there.
Yeah, I heard it. Is that the Dushka they were shooting?
Yeah.
The fighting here is static, mostly small arms pot shots and mortars. Islamic State militants have attacked this location with chemical weapons several times, including mustard gas. None of the Kurdish soldiers, however, have gas masks or protective suits.
Over there, in front of the water, there's a big water tanky. There's a cave. Sometimes they hide themselves in that cave.
The Kurds don't have encrypted communications. They share the airwaves with their enemy on off-the-shelf radios.
They just talking together to know. It is their commander asks the others, what do you need, what's going on?
After sunset, we move downstairs for dinner. A simple meal, highlighting the soldiers' limited supplies. After dinner, the soldiers prepare for the night, a dangerous time, when Islamic State fighters slip across no man's land to attack. The Peshmerga soldiers will not sleep tonight. They move to the roof to stand guard, taking their weapons and the unit's only pair of night vision goggles. The night is dark. The sound of U.S. warplanes overhead is nonstop. Light poles illuminate the first section of no man's land, but beyond is the darkness, and long stretches between Kurdish positions go undefended, allowing the enemy pathways through which to attack. The opposing sides trade pot shots, and all night, the soldiers' nerves are tested. In the morning, we visit another outpost, further down the line, across an undefended stretch of the front, notorious for Islamic State ambushes. A Peshmerga soldier sleeps, resting after a night on guard against ISIS. The unit's commander, Lieutenant Colonel Bahadin Kadir, says suicide car bombers are the greatest threat, and he needs more heavy weapons to defend against the kamikaze attacks. On the horizon, smoke rises from a distant airstrike. Kadir says he is grateful for the US-led airstrikes, which he says have been a game changer in the war against ISIS. From the Mosul front in Iraqi Kurdistan for the Daily Signal, this is Nolan Peterson.